Never. I always thought I was a little weird psychiatric patient because when I was in the psychiatric hospital on a voluntary basis, I thought I was the most sane one in there. I didn't act like I had a mental problem. And when they put me on the psychiatric medications, I walked around like a zombie. And it appears that I didn't need to be on it. It actually slowed me down and made me look lethargic. I saw myself on video. So those doctors goofed. I'm not manic depressive. They misdiagnosed me. I figured it out on my own. Those psychiatric medicines have messed up my voice. I have suffered permanent damage because of that. I have tardive dyskinesia, spasmodic dysphonia. Now, I'm not saying the Jesuits were behind that, but I was misdiagnosed, and they took full advantage of that. Anyways, we got to Seattle. I was off of my psychiatric medicines and very excited about natural medicine because I was getting some phenomenal results. I was changing my whole philosophy about medicine, becoming much more natural in my approach. And I decided to visit a naturopathic doctor. I was excited about being in Seattle because Seattle was like the headquarters of natural medicine in the United States. So I started in the month of July 99. I started seeing a doctor. She gave me some good advice, and I was using my credit, starting around March of 99, I started using a credit card to buy my natural supplements because my husband refused to help me. He said that all this natural medicine was junk, that if it wasn't traditional medicine, he wasn't going to pay for it because it wasn't covered by insurance, and he didn't believe in that kind of medicine. And that I was imagining my symptoms, and that he wasn't going to help me out one bit with organic food or natural medicine. The only thing he would pay for would be traditional medical treatment. So I could tell that if I wanted to get my health back, I'd have to pay for it myself. So I took out a credit card so that I could get back to health and not have to be dependent on psychiatrists and those kind of doctors for the rest of my life. I didn't want to be at their mercy. So I started seeing a naturopathic physician. Of course, I paid for this with my credit card, and my charges started going up. I was buying calcium and all sorts of supplements, and they were working. I was getting results. So I saw this doctor. After colon, it'd be good for your health. And while I was there getting colon cleansing treatment, the colon irrigator suggested that I see the doctor there. She said that she might be able to help me with some of my stomach problems. I told her I was suffering from a little bit of heartburn and nausea. And so I decided to try it. So I went to the naturopath doctor, and I told her, I said, I heard that you're able to help me with my stomach problems. She said, yes, and I want you to consider another form of treatment that it appears you haven't considered. It's called spinal extremity correction, where I manipulate your spine, and she said, this can also help you with your stomach and probably with your sleep and other things. I said, my sleep's fine. I'm not worried about my sleep. I said, right now I'm having stomach problems. And she said, okay. And then she dropped a suggestion to me. She said, I see that you just got off of your psychiatric meds and that you're not under the supervision of a psychiatrist. All of a sudden, my suspicious antennas went up. I said, yes. And she said, don't you think that's a little dangerous? I said, I'm doing fine. I'm not exhibiting any symptoms mentally. I'm sleeping well. I don't need to see a psychiatrist. She said, don't you think maybe you ought to get back on a low dose of your psychiatric medicines and be under the supervision of a psychiatrist just to make sure everything's okay? I said, why would I want to do that when I'm not suffering any mental symptoms? She said, okay, well, never mind. She said, well, so you want to come next week and have me work on your stomach? I said, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and try this. I was a little suspicious, but not quite suspicious yet. I figured maybe she wouldn't be bold enough to try anything else because she could tell I was already suspicious of her. So I showed up for the spinal extremity correction. I told her I'm doing this mainly to help with my stomach. And she said, well, this will help you with your stomach. And she said it probably will help with other things too. So she started manipulating my spine. And then she grabbed my head and kind of jerked it back. And I noticed I was feeling a little stiff in my neck, but I thought, oh, well, I thought kind of a weird treatment that she grabbed my head and pulled my neck back like that. And I started losing a little bit of sleep, but I didn't worry about it too much. I went back for, I think, about 1 or 2 more treatments. After the second or third treatment, when I went home, my neck was having, the muscles in the back were in spasms. I was in so much pain that I was up all night. I thought, oh my God, Lori McBride got the doctor. They're trying to induce psychosis using that SEC. Oh man, I was up all night. I had a headache. I was nauseated. I was actually getting mental symptoms because of the manipulation she'd done to my neck. So I called up, I said, I bet I know who can fix this, a chiropractor. So I called up a chiropractor and made an emergency appointment. I said, I need to see you right away. I said, I'm really in distress. I feel lousy. So this is the first time I'd been to a chiropractor in my life. I showed up at the chiropractor, and he said, well, I need to take x-rays. So he took x-rays. He was real friendly to me. His name was... And so he kind of did like a kind of a jerk with my head, and I felt better. But it didn't last. So I had to go back to see him again. Now my bills are really piling up. And I got ripped off by this naturopath. And here I am at this chiropractor. The second time he gave me an adjustment, I felt worse than I did when I went to doctor. I don't know what you did to my neck. I said, but I want you to fix this. I said, I'm going to show up. And whatever you did something bad to my neck, and I know you didn't do it right. Now you fix it. And I went in there and I said, I want to be able to function. And I don't know what you did to my neck, but I want you to fix it. And I went in there and he did something, but he didn't fix it too good. I said, forget that, doctor, man. I said, what am I going to do? So I thought, ooh, my insurance covers physical therapy. So I thought, I'm going to have to do something quick. I said, I gave up on him. I said, man, he's no good. So I thought, well, let's quit paying out of my credit card and go with something that my insurance covers. So I went to a physical therapist. She happened to be a Catholic, by the way, and she was really nice. Her name was Donna. I can't remember the last name. She was right down the road from me. And she was able to use some muscle manipulation that helped the muscles in the back of my neck to relax. And she said, your C2, she said, is in a bad position. It's lying flat up against your skull, and that's why you're having trouble. And she said, I'm going to work and see if I can get it to go down a little bit more. I went to her for 2 months of physical therapy, and she was able to give me enough relief where I could sleep about 6 hours a night. But I certainly wasn't getting beauty rest. And finally, after about 2 months, and she did a great job on me, and she was very kind, and there was another lady there that helped as well. Finally, she said that I've done everything I can with physical therapy to get your C2 to go down. But she said, it is just so stubborn. I think you're going to need to go to a chiropractor. And I said, oh boy, my insurance doesn't cover that. She said, but I talked with a chiropractor that's down the road from here, and I hear he's really good. And she said, you may want to try him. It may only take 1 or 2 visits and you'll be fine. She said, you may want to try him and see if he can help you. Because I've done everything I can with physical therapy to get that C2 to go down, and it won't. So I went to visit the chiropractor. He was actually a blonde, and I was very impressed with him. He said, I'm going to make a special arrangement with you where you can visit me as many times as you want in a month, and you just pay a monthly fee. And he used like a ping machine, and I got really good help from him. And I ended up going to him for a year. He was a good chiropractor. And he told me, your C1 is way up there. He said, but I'll keep working on it, and we'll get it to go down where it needs to go. And eventually I ended up seeing him not just for the neck, but down, he worked on the lower spine as well. I ended up taking my son